Hello, hello, everyone.
Hi everyone, I'm Lauren.
I am Lily. Welcome to our podcast, Light and Laugh. Today, we have a very interesting topic that you guys have probably seen covered in entertainment before.
Absolutely.
I think there's so many different ways that people might think of it when they hear this. And today we're going to be talking about intuition.
My favorite thing to discuss.
Is
It
it one of your favorite?
sure is. I have so much to talk about, but I would love to hear, Lily, what does
Okay.
intuition mean to you?
It's a lot of people like to call it your gut, but I will call it my subconscious. It's
Ooh.
guiding me sometimes. You can listen to it if you are, trying to connect to it.
Mhm.
And it'll tell you usually the right thing to do. Um, or it'll guide you, but you have to listen. And then sometimes, like they say, gut feeling, you don't listen to the gut feeling. It happens where we don't listen to that intuition, and things might not go the way, the smoothest way possible. But I think that's what
Probably not.
intuition is to me, listening to that
Voice.
inner voice, but also sometimes it's a feeling. Sometimes it's not even it's just a sensation.
Oh my God, absolutely. I can't agree more with what you're saying. I have personally been really focusing now as I've been more interested in my self development and personal growth journey. I've been so focused on my intuition. And like you said, it's more of like a gut feeling, right? But it's also like a sensation. So, this is one of my favorite topics because I don't know if you know this, Lily, but intuition plays a different role in everybody and the way they feel it based on your birth chart. And
What?
yes, so
Tell
that's
me.
why I'm so excited about this. I worked with a manifestation coach,
Okay.
and she showed me by putting in my birth chart information, meaning the day I was born, the time I was born, the place, the city I was born, right? All of that makes up what type of individual I am in the sense of a manifestation world, right? So in manifestation, there is what is called a generator. That's me. You could be a manifester, you could be a generator, you could be a projector, but we're not on that topic right now. So we're on generator for me, and generator very, very much needs to be aligned with their intuition. And
Okay.
I never knew what that meant. So
Yeah.
when I had this manifestation coach explain to me, what is my intuition? She explained to me that when something makes me feel extremely excited or I feel so happy to want to participate or talk about or engage or whatever, if it makes me feel really excited, if I'm beaming with joy over it, it's aligned. It's aligned action. Take it. That's my intuition speaking to me. That's the universe, the
Mhm.
divine, whoever you want to call it. That's them speaking to me through my intuition, which is for me my gut, right? But like you said, it's a sensation. So if I'm really excited, I know this is aligned activity for me. I need to take this. It's aligned action to get to the next step of being my best self, right? That's what we're all trying to do.
Exactly.
Now, if it makes me feel anxious or scared or worried, what does that mean? It's unaligned. It's not meant for me. And
Yeah.
so if you really learn to listen to that intuition or that little voice in your head, your life and the choices that you make become so much easier. You almost don't feel stressed anymore. It's almost like, okay, well, how do I feel? Am I excited? Am I scared? Well, if I'm
Hmm.
excited, go for it. If I'm scared, not for me, not right now. Sorry.
I
What do you
also
think
want to
about
add, I also want to add to that you might have both of those at once.
Ooh,
But if you feel that the positive one is slightly above the other, that is also really important because many times I have maybe felt anxious or have felt some type of fear from a situation that I put myself in, that in my mind, that situation is positive. It's something I'm excited about. But I have put myself in that position and I have come to the conclusion that my excitement, my happiness is just above the fear, the anxiety. So I think that's also really important is that if you do have both, try as much as you can to have that be above, because even if that is your dream, even if this is something that you wanted to do your entire life, if the fear and anxiety is above that excitement,
not meant for
it
you.
might not it might not be the thing that is what you imagine. It could be at another time, but at that moment it
Yes.
might not be for you.
Can I just interrupt in a quick little segment though? I want to make it very clear that, like you said, you will get anxiety sometimes for the things you're super excited about. But it's really about being self-aware and trying to understand, what is the anxiety from? Is it maybe from a limiting belief? And maybe we could have a whole other discussion on what limiting beliefs are. But we're grown up thinking or scripted believing X, Y, and Z is what is capable of us. And it's not until you become aware of that script that you say, you know what? I am my own person. And maybe the anxiety that I'm feeling is based on something that I was taught growing up that doesn't really resonate with me anymore. That doesn't really sit with me anymore. So I think it all really comes down to intuition really needs to be about self-awareness.
Yes.
You can't, if anything, a feeling is a feeling, just like being angry, being happy, being
Yeah.
sad. But unless you're aware of it,
Yes.
that's the only way it can guide you.
Mm-hmm.
And once you use it as guidance, I swear, Sam, choices become so much easier. When I tell you me, and Lily can testify to this, I am the most indecisive individual in the world. In the world, possibly. If I could get an award, I would. Um, but once I learned how to utilize my intuition, I can make decisions and I don't feel guilt anymore. I don't feel worried that I make the wrong or right choice. Because I have faith that the
Yes.
universe is communicating to me, or the divine, or whoever you want to call it, is communicating to me through my intuition. And remember, it all stems from when we had this discussion with our spiritual journey and our spiritual experiences. You really need to trust that there is a higher power, whoever you want to call it, but there's a higher power out there working for you. You don't have to do all of the work. If
Mm-hmm.
you trust and have faith, your intuition, whether it's that little voice in your head, the feelings you get, the gut feeling, it's going to do the work for you. Allow it to. Just be aware.
And the more you practice it, there's practices that I do where the universe guides me. And the more that you practice it, you can use that practice for anything and connect to it at any moment you want and ask for guidance. If you are not sure, if you believe your intuition is telling you something, you can ask the universe. There's different meditations out there that maybe people can look up. There's also constellation therapy, which I have visited, and it teaches you to feel that little push that the universe gives you or that pull that it gives you. The push means go forward, the pull is go back, and you can connect to that at any time. And that is also really help you to just it can help you to just make sure that what you are feeling is really what the universe wants for you.
And really, ultimately, Lily, what the universe wants for you is really your higher self trying to communicate to
The
you.
best.
Exactly. Like, listen, if you want to get here, sweetie, these are the things you got to do to get here. But
Exactly.
I think it's a commitment to wanting to better yourself, and I think that's step one
Yeah.
is commit to the bit, commit to the journey,
Hmm.
commit to learning about yourself.
And that's it. It takes a lot. It takes a lot
It does.
to find that connection. It's not easy. And
Sure
to
isn't.
recognize that intuition, it's not easy at all. It's taken me a lot of work. And but once you do, it's amazing. And the funny part is, although it's accessible for almost everything in your life,
Hmm.
sometimes you might forget, and sometimes you might still do, something without really connecting to yourself and asking, is this the right thing for me? And
Yeah,
that's fine. That'll happen. But overall, using this intuition for the bigger things in life is the biggest help. You don't have to ask anyone else, you ask yourself.
I can't agree more with that. And I think it really just hones in on the same piece that we were just discussing on that last podcast episode that, there is a stimulus, right? You are stimulated, something will trigger you. And then there you have a response, but you have the free choice and the independent will to make that choice. So, what you do in that gap, meaning, are you going to immediately react or are you going to take a pause and reflect and try to make sure you're grounded with your values? Make sure it's aligned with you, make sure it makes you feel good. If it doesn't, it helps you with your interactions with people. You can kind of work on your communication based on your intuition. You
Yeah.
know, it says a lot about a character when you are able to tap into the intuition.
And as we wrap up, I do want to say that not everyone has an inner voice. I understand that. I know that some people don't have a little voice inside their head that tells them, or inner dialogue. I also understand that not everyone has that. And you don't have to. It can be achieved in many different ways. It can be achieved through different practices, and finding a practice that fits for you is the most important thing, because like I said, there's different ones that I have done, and there's one particular one that I always go and do with any situation. So there's simple ones. You don't have to get too into it, but they are out there. And if you look for them, you will find the one that's right for you if you practice enough. So as we wrap up here, um, I do want to say that, Lauren has been following that voice even more lately. We talk a lot about, what feels right, and we act on it. And that intuition isn't always easy.
Oh,
None of
it
it
is
is.
not. It is not.
Listening to your gut sometimes is a whole battle.
Sure is.
And, but once you do it, hopefully you can look back and realize that it was the right decision.
Yes. And I want to make it very clear that sometimes you might not know it's the universe communicating to you at that time. But then when you
Mhm.
look back, you're like, wow, that's why all the pieces connected.
Mhm.
So just stick with the feeling. If it
Yeah.
makes you excited, go for it. If it makes you
Yeah.
nervous, take a moment to consider why.
Yeah. But hopefully at the end of the day, you're able to do all those things you like, and the universe will guide you to them.
Amen. Preach, sister. Sending love. Sending. Wait, can I get my hearts?
Sending lots of love. There
Lots
they
of love,
are.
everyone.
Sending lots of love and light to everyone. Reach out to us. Tell us if you follow your intuition, if you feel what we feel, and what practice you have. Hopefully, you can share different practices for anyone watching this.
I'm so interested. Please let me hear what you got.
Bye.